It's lucky week 13 of the Night Racing League Season 2, and we cross America from Long Beach, California to Watkins, Glen, New York. In the second last race of the season, it's a 25-point lead for Bozak over Night Racing 727. Bozak will have to drop a 5th place result today. Night Racing competing in his 10th race. He will score all the points he gets today. T-Man 1975 third with 134, Stillen 116, Nodovan close behind with 109 points. Jagbase is not here this weekend, and the same with Logan Shawn 17. It may be all but over in the Constructors' Championship for Fanatec, but it's only 2 points between Bismoni and Vazmak, with Sheriff Tizer only 5 behind them. It's very close, and we'll watch as we look for the starting grid here at Watkins Glen. It was a spectacular qualifying session where it looked like Bozak was sandbagging and wanting to start at the back, but he puts in a 26-1 at the end to take the pole. Nodovan was third until his final lap at 26.558, just knocking Night Racing to the second row with his 126.625. From the top three, it's a gap back to Stillen 421, who turned a 29.431, and T-Man 1975 starts alone in row 3 with a 130.614. It's 25 laps around Watkins Glen, New York, with the championship on the line. And here we are after one of the greatest qualifying sessions we've had all season, and they're away, the lights are out. And a great start by Bozak. Nodovan holds in on the outside. Night Racing, it's clean away. Nodovan up through the S's for the first time, trying to look inside, but Bozak covers him off. Down to the bus stop. Only 5 cars today. Some availability for Jagbase and Logan Shawn 17 as Knight, holy smokes, catches a little bit of grass coming out of the bus stop. He's all over Nodovan for second place. I was about to say we've got at least all the front runners in the championship here as Knight takes a run on the inside. Nodovan wide. Down into the boot for the first time. It is a huge battle for second place. Nodovan driving away. A little bit of a block by Nod on the inside. Bozak driving away there. I think I said the wrong thing. Side by side through the boot. And that'll give Knight the inside as they come over the crest of the hill, and he's taken second place after losing the front row. T-Man, a little brush of the wall in the background there. No harm, no foul. After losing that front row right in the last minute of qualifying, Night Racing has retaken second place. Bozak up front, lap 2, the championship leader. Nodovan now coming back at Night up the hill. Just drifting it through there, but all under control while the tires are warm. That's a wide line through there. These two, of course, have spent a lot of time on this circuit lately. The 6 hours at the Glen just a couple of weeks ago. Both hoping for better results today. Just over 2 seconds the gap. That little battle at the front, not what Knight wanted in his little championship quest here, but he's got Bozak in sight now. But based on practice times, I don't know if he's going to be able to reel him in. Way wide, even on the grass, and that's not the fast way. As we get representative lap times now for the first time as we start lap 3 29.8 for Bozak. Knight, the hard charger at the moment, a 29.1. As he puts a little bit of a gap between he and Nodovan. Your race leader. Stillen, meanwhile, we're told, has been in the pits. We're going to check that out. He has dropped right off the queue. As we head back up front, Bozak now a 3-second lead as his last lap wasn't quicker than Knight, but he seems to be pulling away on track. Certainly the exit of that last corner wasn't the best for Knight, as he continues to have Nodovan hunting him down. On board the third place car. Stole that front row position. It was an interesting qualifying session as Knight Racing came out, turned his fastest lap of the week with his 26.6. Bozak looked like he was sandbagging, maybe wanting to start at the back, as he didn't turn in a fast lap time until the very end, but then took a 26.1 and then decided to better that with his 25. And Nodovan on his last flying lap, stealing the front row off of Knight Racing, who did not go out to defend. Turned his fastest lap and then parked it in the garage, and maybe that was a mistake. This battle between he and Nodovan in the first lap, I don't know if that kept him from having a charge at the lead. Well, it certainly did. I mean, he didn't have a chance to get him in the first turn like he did at the last race, so maybe a mistake in qualifying there by the Canadian, as he tries to hunt down this man, Bozak. It's a big lead, but we have dropped races going on here. Bozak and Knight will have to drop a 5th place finish here today. No, sorry. Knight Racing scores all of his points today. This is his 10th race of the championship. It's Bozak's 11th, so he will have to drop 5th place points. So effectively only score anything better than a 5th place. We have 5 cars in the grid today, but he's certainly not worried about that, as it's now a 5-second lead, a 26.6 for Bozak, who turns Knight Racing's qualifying time on lap 5. 28 for the following cars. Just nipping those curbs, using them to turn the car. As we'll run down the field now, there is Nodovan in 3rd. The Canadian trying to chase down his esports teammate. T-Man 1975 in the Dombreville is 4th after an early pit stop by Stillen, 421. And there is Stillen, running in 5th place. As Bozak comes around to complete lap 5. Backs it off a little bit to a 27.3. Still 4/10 quicker than Knight Racing, who is now pulling away from Nodovan. Things settling in.
And a replay here of T-Man as he comes over the crest of that hill, and it pushes the car out, and he's lost the front wing. Just now getting back into the pits.
One more race left in the Formula Renault Championship.
And that will be in 2 weeks on the road circuit at Indianapolis. It's a 25-point lead for Bozak. As he lights up the rear end, trying to get the power down. And a little messy there. Not too bad, though. Everybody's still pushing very, very hard. The 27.4 didn't really lose him any lap time there. 6 laps in the books. Knight down to a 27.6. He's getting quicker every lap as the fuel burns off. But still losing 2/10. Donovan in the 29s on that lap. And Stillen is by T-Man. So something has happened to T-Man, who's dropped now to 5th place. And now finds himself directly in front of Bozak, ready to be lapped. Pulls over to let him go by, so that's all taken care of. Both cars look very, very careful there. There's Knight getting by in the background as well. As the back comes around, the leader is spun. Bozak's off, and Knight almost loses it. As the cars presented itself sideways in front of him, Donovan goes through the championship leader. Has lost it in the boot. He's going to have to pit here on lap 7. And this is a high deg track as well, so that's not, he's having trouble keeping it straight. There's got to be some suspension damage maybe. Huge developments in the championship right here. We'll see how long this takes as Knight Racing becomes your new leader on lap 8. Holy, did he come close to losing it too when he saw that car sideways. Bozak in the pits now. New tires.
As we get a look at it, the back end just gets light on Bozak and he puts it around into the barrier. Knight Racing off throttle. Just about loses it.
It's a 3-second gap for Knight, who must think Christmas has come early. The front wing replaced now. They still work on the car. Still in 421 is coming very close to pit in. He's already made his pit stop. He's going to take 3rd place. He's going to move onto the podium here. Bozak still stationary. For what must be an eternity. Knight Racing coming around to lap the American, who is now 4th, finally rolling out of the pits. But will go a lap down. Knight almost loses it in turn 1. See how close on the knife edge they are. 8 laps in. The tires, I'm sure, are getting very worn, especially the fronts. Bozak has now dropped to 5th place behind T-Man, 1975. We'll see if he can nurse those tires to the end. It's not too far away from half distance. Of course, 25-lap race. A lot of cars pit between lap 13 and 16 as T-Man goes wide. Having just passed T-Man in the lead, 2 laps later, he's having to pass T-Man for position. as up the hill to the problem corner. This is where it all happened. Very, very careful. T-Man under no obligation for the easy pass. Bozak a little impatient there. I think he's got the speed. He shouldn't have to worry about getting by at the first opportunity here. It's all about salvaging points as T-Man wide again. Coming on to the final front straight. Bozak shoots out wide. I think T-Man made that a little easier. He knows he's not going to be able to keep the American behind him. So Bozak up to 4th. And it's 28 seconds up the road to still in 421. So the championship becomes very interesting now. Knight Racing in the lead. On pace for 25 points. He can score all 25. It is his 10th race. He does not have to drop. Bozak can only score the difference between 4th and 5th. So at the moment, as they stand, the championship very, very tight. Long way to go, however. 15 laps at the end of this one. We saw Knight there almost sideways. Now being chased by his esports teammate, Nodovan. There he is. Only 4 seconds up the road. You see... Oh, and he spins! Christmas has come early for Knight Racing. Now the pressure's off. Bozak unlaps himself. And Nodovan can't even get the car rolling. Too much traffic coming. He maintains second place. Both T-Man and Bozak a lap down, but that's a huge gap now to the leader. 18 seconds. He's going to come in and pit. So new boots for the Vazmak driver. Knight Racing now. Completely in charge of this race on lap 11. But we've seen him sliding it through corners and almost lost it on the exit of turn 1 there a couple laps ago. There's a lot to come yet. But at least now he doesn't have to push. He can keep the car stable, doesn't have to be on the ragged edge all the way, and can manage this race. Nodovan out of the pits now, heading toward the back straightaway, and it's a 50-second gap. Still in 421 is very quietly working his way toward the front. Just 18 seconds behind a second place. Now, Bozak in 4th. Coming around to see if he's back on pace now. His first real clean lap after getting back into 4th. It's a 32.5. And he's wide there, which could be a slowdown. Maybe that's what happened on the last lap. If he's really pushing to try and get back into it. So watch that. But the fastest car on the track right now is your leader, Knight Racing, who has fallen down into the 28s with the pressure valve released. And starting to think about pit stops here. On lap 12, almost at halfway. And with the way the tire degradation is here, probably looking to split this race in 2. Track temperature very, very cold here. It's an autumn race, you can tell by the trees. It was 12 degrees at the start of the race. Come up a little bit, 15 degrees now. Which should actually help in traction. 12 is a little too cold. Knight will go around again and complete lap 12. As he does, they stir in the pit box, so he will be coming in at the end of lap 13. 28.3 you see there. Everyone else, except for T-Man, I believe, has pitted. Could be wrong there. We will double check, but the leader now is coming in on the end of lap 13 as he's down through the carousel. He's halfway home. Now it's managing this race without real pressure. We'll see how close Nodovan is, but he had to wait a long time there as they exited the boot section of this track. You had to wait for Bozak and T-Man to go by. Very fair play, by the way, not sticking his car back in front of others. But that has cost him, boy, I'm gonna think at least 8 seconds, maybe 10. So just a clean pit stop here for Knight, and he should have himself, well, if it was 10 seconds, he should have himself about a 14-second gap when he comes out, as it was 4 seconds before the spin. Here comes Knight Racing 727 into the pits. Nodovan now just heading into the boot section. Tires and fuel for the Canadian, and he's away. Was T-Man going down the front straight there. Out he comes, watch the yellow line, not even threatening the yellow line. It's all about safety and getting this car to the finish. He's had a shot at the championship handed to him on a plate here today. But he's got to get this car to the finish where it is now. The gap, it's about 19 seconds between he and Nodovan in the Vazmac. One thing I can guarantee you, the DRS button has been put away for the afternoon. It'll be just drive this car home. 12 laps and 18-second lead. That should be more than enough if you can keep the front end pointed where it's supposed to be. Bozak here, 16 seconds out of third place. And he desperately needs to make up ground. He's on 12 points for fourth. He will have to drop a fifth place finish, so effectively he is only scoring 2 points here today. Knight Racing on first for 25, scores all of them. He does not have to drop this race. So Bozak, if he were to finish in fourth, would only have a 2-point lead headed to Indianapolis. And I just want to see when they drop their fifths. Bozak was fifth in Le Mans, which he'll be dropping today. Knight was fifth in Donington, which he'll be dropping today. Bozak has a fourth in Monza that he will have to drop. Knight will have to drop a third from Zolder, so advantage Bozak in the championship race at Indianapolis. Effectively, that's a 3-point advantage. Knight will have to drop 3 more points than Bozak. So a 2-point lead if he were to finish here. Effectively a 5-point lead with the races they will have to drop in Indy, assuming they beat their worst finish. Just over the curves. You see how hard he's pushing. It was a 27-1 that last time around, and you can see easily the fastest time on the racetrack. Nodovan is next quickest. turned to 28.3. We'll see what he's doing here on lap 16. End of lap 15 for him. It's a 28.2, so they're the chasers. Knight has dropped almost into the 30s. And the gap has come down by a couple seconds, but he's got more than a 1 second per lap advantage. So just maintaining that car. Bozak trying to do qualifying laps, it looks like. Stillin's in the 31s, a 28.3 that time around for the American. Just 9 seconds now to collect 3 more points. DRS open, you see how the car skates around. Just heard another engine sound. I was looking up there for it. I think it's still in now. It's only 8 seconds, the gap. It's such a huge position for Bozak. There is still. I just saw the yellow disappear over the crest of the hill ahead of him. A 27.3. He gained almost 5 seconds on that lap. We go on board with Bozak visually closing on his countrymen up the hill. 3 more championship points if he can pass that yellow car. Flirts with that curb on the outside. Nodovan has had an issue. He's now 26 seconds back of the lead. We'll get a replay of that.
And here it is, down into the trouble corner of the day. Almost loses it there, but then comes up to the top of the hill where the car gets light. And around he goes.
Zach wiggles there, coming through turn 1. This is the battle for third. Trying to line him up. It's a long, long way to Nodovan, so this is really the race here for Bozak. Get by clean, collect these points, it's very unlikely, even with that little incident for Nodovan, that he will catch second place. So it's all about getting this pass done and banking, really salvaging the maximum number of points he can from the afternoon. Down the main straight, leader into lap 19. 7 laps to go. Little wiggle from Stillen, nothing bad. He pitted early, remember, so those tires will not be as handy as the ones on the Fanatec car. He's got the tow, he's got the DRS, and that car will blow by the Sheriff Tizer. Catches some curb and wide. And back to third goes Stillen, 421. He'll have to do it again. Oh, and he's pushed off with dirty tires into the wall. Don't see any obvious damage. That front wing a little askew, but boy, did he hit that wall hard. But square, there's got to be some more suspension damage. Wiggles around a little bit. And Stillen is pulling away. Car is, and around he goes. And that didn't help. And it's only 10 seconds back to T-Man. This could be a 5th place finish for Bozak. Here comes T-Man 1975, the leader, to put him down another lap. And this means, with a 5th place finish, Bozak will score no points today. He has to drop a 5th place finish. Stillen, 421, is going to keep that 3rd place as he watches all the action happen around, and this puts the Englishman up to 4th. T-Man 1975. He's got the race leader behind him. Bozak makes it to pit in. With only 4 laps to go when the leader crosses the line. This is a disaster today. It's not going to lose him the championship lead. But it's going to tie the championship. They will be tied at the end of this race if Knight Racing can win this race. And the most interesting thing going to Indianapolis is that Bozak will still have to drop a 5th. Because if he scores a 5th here today, he will have another 5th place to drop. He will keep his Monza finish. Knight Racing is going to have to drop a podium position. 3rd place is his... No, sorry. This is his 10th race. He will still have the 5th from Donington. So we are actually going to be tied in this championship going into Indianapolis. It'll be a straight-up fight. Both will have to drop the same race. The racing gods have handed us a finale, haven't they? Knight Racing is by T-Man now. And just trying to stay on the circuit. You can see he's doing 30-second plus laps now. 3.5 seconds off his qualifying pace, so very, very safe. In fact, it's a tightrope walk there, because the slower you go, you start to lose tire pressure, and the car can get harder to handle than if you're pushing it a little bit. So, have to walk that fine line, but it looks very stable. No reason to do anything dangerous. Donovan now 23 seconds behind in second, as we'll do a quick run through the field here.
Donovan, with all his trials and tribulations today, will come home with a second place. It'll be a Canadian 1-2. And as I say that, he goes around.
Just a lazy spin, backs it up. Gets it going again. It's still 20 seconds back to still in 421, so no harm, no foul at this point for the Vazmak driver. There is still in 421. Coming up to what has been the problem corner for the race. But a well-earned podium, and he earned it. I mean, he kept it in there, raced clean for third, and it was Bozak who pushed off. A well-earned third place here for still in 421, and same can be said for T-Man. Bit off the pace. They suffer just from a lack of testing, really. He's got the pace, he's got the driving. And he just keeps it on the circuit. And a well-earned fourth as Bozak, the next car we were going to look at, has gone around again. And that's a mirror image of the earlier incident. Just the car goes light over the crest of that hill. So a little insult to injury for the Fanatec car. Now, because of that second damage repair, laps behind, and I believe this will be a retirement. There's nothing to be gained to go through the final laps. It will be a 5th place finish for Bozak. And on lap 24 of 25, Knight Racing 727 is that far away from tying the championship lead with back-to-back victories in America. With clearly the second fastest car at Long Beach, he was able to get the lead in turn number 1, and for 25 spectacular laps, hold Bozak off for the win. And now, from a second row grid spot, able to convert what has been a perfect drive into another win and tie this championship. Still one lap to go as we sit here and count chickens. On to the main straight to start lap 25, Knight Racing 727. Now with a 33-second lead over his nearest competitor in this race. He's had it sliding. He almost lost it when Bozak was sideways in that first incident. I can't believe how close Knight came to losing it right then and there. But he has kept it pointed straight. As Donovan still coming around just now to start his 25th lap. Still in 421 will be the final car on the lead lap. As he comes out of the boot now. A great drive by the Canadian today. We will see in 2 weeks if it was a championship drive. As Knight Racing comes out of the last corner to win at Watkins Glen, he and Bozak are tied going into the final race at Indianapolis. After an afternoon full of excitement, it's a second oh, gee! Are you kidding? The second last corner, Donovan stuffs it and will limp across the line for second place. Oh, brother. And that is Bozak. He did not retire the car, so good on him. Brings it home in fifth. There is your third place car, still in 421. With T-Man 1975 in fifth. Your winner at Watkins Glen.
And what a weekend it's going to be, as we have a tie for the lead in the championship with 1 race to go. Bozak and Knight Racing tied at 194. T-Man 138 points after his drop, and Donovan and Stillen both tied at 127 going into the final race. Should be a spectacular 25 laps at the Indianapolis Road Circuit. The Constructors' Championship tightens up, but it's still a 28-point lead for Fanatec. Join us for the finale at Indianapolis.